Hey, welcome again. Welcome back to Chosen to Be Empowered TV. I am your divine guide, teacher, healer, Deneen Joyner. Welcome. If this is your first time listening in, a warm embrace to you. If you are coming back for another time with me, then you already know that you are in for enlightenment and love. I want to be sure that that I share with you my purpose for creating this channel in the first place, which was really just to uh, cast my net, if you will, to a larger and broader spiritual audience who has not had the chance to even know that I exist. I'm on social media. I am on Facebook, Chosen to Be Empowered. I am on Instagram, Deneen Joiner 7. And now I am here on YouTube. And what I really want to be able to do is to take you by the hand and by the heart and to guide you to the other side of your pain and trauma that more than likely you have been holding on to since childhood. Most of the people that I work with are adults. I have worked with teens, but most of the people that I work with are women and they are adults. And what I've come to find is that that everybody has an idea of what healing looks like. They have this vision of it. And for most people, that vision is not promising because in their mind's eye, they're believing that reliving the past is going to be detrimental to their overall emotional well-being, minus the fact that they have already been living at a negative, but they don't take that into account. Nobody wants to relive the feelings that once took your breath away or the disappointment from someone who was a co-conspirator, if you will, to your pain and trauma. Nobody wants to go there. I understand that both personally and professionally. I get that. So what I want to do and what I envision doing in our times together is to get you to a place where there is hope and possibility and curiosity with regards to your experiences. I want you to know that I personally have had a traumatic childhood, which started when I was 5 years old. And a lot of my experiences stemmed from me not being accepted for who I am. At a very young age, I started to become aware of specific gifts that I have that I'll be talking to you about because, again, I know that that's going to be important to you in your evolution with embracing who you are. This channel is multifaceted. It's all things God, divine, spirituality, spiritual gifts, healing, ancestry, the origin of your emotions, generational curses that I call spiritual inheritance instead, because it's all inclusive of not only what has been passed down to you genetically, but it's also what is innately given to you by God to be able to literally heal yourself, if you can imagine that. There is nothing outside of you that you really need at this point to add to what God has already given you to recalibrate your soul and to literally return yourself back to who you were before he formed you and placed you inside your mother's womb. That is the essence of your power, is who you were before life got in the way and made you forget, before your defenses got in the way and made you forget, before the disappointment got in the way and made you forget, before your heartbreak got in the way and made you forget. I want to get you to a place where you can surrender those things, because those belief systems and mindset that you have literally grown yourself up on is is really the problem. It's the problem, has been the problem. I'll be the first to tell you that nobody, including me, when I was growing up, nobody showed me or you how to respond to pain and trauma because of the deficit of our own parents' emotional origin. What they did was literally give you, me, us, what they had, which was literally not much to go off of. And so here we are. We are literally grappling. We're grappling for anything, any information, anything that can help us make sense of it. And so I get that, because I have been in that space. I've been in that place where I needed something and I didn't have the words to even express what it was that I was lacking down inside. I just knew that I was sad. I knew that I was holding on to the past. I didn't know how to let go of it. And there wasn't much really for me to turn to really start to get some emotional relief. It wasn't until 2011, when I was 47 years old, when the bottom of my soul finally fell out because I couldn't pretend any longer. And I don't want that for anybody. You have two choices, literally, and I'm just keeping it real with you. You can believe that you have control over um, your emotional well-being with regards to living around, dancing around, stuffing, numbing the pain. You can believe that, or you can believe that it's better off that you awaken and acknowledge some things to yourself and start a healing journey with God's grace and mercy. Okay? The latter is the better. And even though it sounds like it doesn't give you um many things to choose, it really does. When you surrender what you believe over what really is, which is what God wants for you, then what you are doing is literally opening yourself up to healing. I want to talk to you today specifically about indigenous spirit led soul healing. Indigenous spirit led soul healing. So you're probably, if you're still tuning in, which I hope that you are, you're probably scratching your head by now, like, what is that? I've never heard of that before. Wow. Good. I'm glad, because it is an ancient form of healing your soul. Stay with me. Stay with me. Don't leave me. I want you to know that your soul literally is a recorder, and it has recorded instances before you were even formed and placed inside your mother's womb. So it knows who you are divinely. It was there when God whispered to your spirit, to your soul, and told you who you are and why you are being placed in this lifetime to literally fulfill a purpose. So your soul knows all of that at the end of the day. There's no way that it can be erased, but it can be forgotten, which is where most people are. Because of the pain that you have experienced, it has taken up a lot of room on your soul, and it has become tainted, if you will, because you are a divine spiritual person at your essence. You are a spirit, right? Having a human experience. Remember that? Remember that? You hear that all the time. It's true. So because of that divinity that you hold in your soul naturally, anything that infiltrates it that is not divine becomes heightened and highlighted because it is not divine. So pain and trauma is not divine, right? I don't even have to go any further. I can just stop there. You know that it's not divine. So us holding on to it because we don't know what to do with it, because we haven't allowed ourselves to process it in a healthy way, because 9 times out of 10, when whatever happened to you happened, you were little and you didn't have the tools or skills to process it. And more than likely, you didn't have parents that could support you through processing it, because again, they more than likely didn't have anybody show them. So therefore, they're lacking in the ability to show you. You get where I'm going here? So when you hear of those curses, generational curses, if you will, repeating itself, it's a vicious cycle that keeps going on and on and on until somebody grows tired, okay, and decides that it ends here. It stops with me. I don't want my children, my grandchildren, or anybody else blood related to have to figure things out. I'm going to be the one to take this on. So your soul literally wants to purge this pain and trauma, but it needs your permission to do so. And so what you literally need to do is to give yourself permission to do so. You need to acknowledge some things that have occurred in your childhood, and maybe for the very first time. I always tell my students and my clients to start with themselves. Don't worry about confessional with anybody else. It starts with you. Okay. Um, I want you to know and understand that your soul is also similar to, I like to use analogies and examples. So you'll start to understand that's me, just so that you can really, really have a grasp of what I'm talking about. You think about your cell phone, right? And you've had this cell phone for a year or so, and you have different apps running in the background, and you've downloaded pictures, and you've taken pictures, and you have videos, and you have just about every app on your phone, right? At some point, things start to slow down, right? And you have to decide, do you want to delete things that are near and dear to you? Lord forbid you delete something. Or do you want to actually upgrade and buy more, you know, more cell um gigabytes? Same thing with excuse me, with your computer. Same thing, you know. You're trying to decide what to delete, what to keep, or if I should just buy some additional bandwidth, right? Your soul is similar in nature with regards to things literally taking up room. So there's no room for anything else. And I just told you that pain and trauma takes up the most space. When you go to therapy or coaching or whatever, literally what you're doing is giving yourself more bandwidth. You're talking, and it's doing something, right? It's starting to alleviate some of the angst, some of the distraction. And so you feel like you have a little bit more um, energy, maybe even a little bit more hope, right? But then what happens is you continue to go through the same scenarios with different people, and it's triggering to you, right? And because you have prolonged your healing, like most people do, it happened when you were 8 and now you're 38 and you've never addressed it ever in your life. It's going to take some time because of that, right? Because it's now where it was something that was here in your mind, right? What it happens over time is that it filtrates down and it goes into a reservoir in your soul. And that's where it lives as energy until you stumble on someone like me who does soul healing. Soul healing gets to and goes to the root of where your pain and trauma lives, which is your soul. And it literally is it's the most natural way of healing your life because you are literally partnering not only with Holy Spirit, but you're partnering with the pain itself and you. So those three elements make up spirit led soul healing. If you think about the ancient times, before therapy, before life coaching, before any of the psychological professions that are now available to us to help us process pain, right? That are at the end of the day similar to therapy. Really, those facets are designed to help people navigate their pain and trauma. But it's going to take longer because it's not going to the root and it's not natural. It's not a natural way to recognize your soul and to partner with your soul to be able to start to release and alleviate what has been there for decades. So I'm going to be talking to you on this channel about spirit led soul healing. And not only that, but I'm going to be talking to you about the work that I do with regards to understanding the origin of who you are, the origin of your emotional genealogy, your ancestry as it relates to how did I come to be? Why am I showing up this way emotionally? Who did I get this from and why? And then being able to literally start to take a journey with yourself to begin to investigate, explore, and unravel the mysteries that are you and your family. Because at the end of the day, nobody is literally really taking the time to go back and to look at what has already been passed down. A lot of the things that you have experienced has happened before, many times over. But it's not until you decide to literally take a moment to be still and to become curious about who you are, why you are, to begin to look at your family with a new lens, not the lens that is judgmental, that is blaming, that is shaming yourself, that wants to be more right than healed. It won't be until you remove that lens and put on the lens of love, of self respect, of self love, self care, of wanting to be healed over anything else. Will you arrive at the answers of your why? So I'm going to literally take you by the hand. I'm going to show you a different way of looking at where you've come from, who you've come from, whose you are. And we are going to uncover and discover everything that you need to know in order to begin and or continue an elevated healing journey that is unique to you and your experiences. You're not going to need to wait until next week the week after next, like you would in therapy. You are going to be self empowered on this journey. You're going to know what to anticipate when things come up. You are going to be in the driver's seat of this journey of self healing and self evolution and revival of your soul. I don't know about you, but if I was on the other end of this looking at this YouTube, I would be so excited because guess what? This is all self guided. It is all literally up to you of what you do when you do it. I will be giving you homework, things of consideration, so that you can take things even deeper when we're not working together in this space. I really want to encourage you to take this very serious because it is. It's like your life depends on it. If you've been through some really, really deep and challenging and difficult and ugly things in your life, like I have, this should really be the pick me up that you've been looking for and really couldn't articulate. If you stick to this, I promise you, you are not going to be ever the same again. You are going to literally, literally, literally be a new creation. And at the end of the day, the reason why this is so important for you to do this type of soul healing work is for you to arrive at knowing at the end of the day exactly who you are and whose you are and why you're here. Because there is a purpose assigned to you, one that you have yet to fulfill. And God has been graciously waiting on you to remember why you are here. And so I'm here as your teacher, your guide, to be able to lovingly, lovingly show you what you have been failing to remember. So that is all I have for you today, which I believe is a lot to really, really meditate on and to um, take in. I will be back and we're going to talk about more of this spirit led soul healing. We're going to talk about what it's going to ask of you because there are elements to this indigenous style soul healing. It's literally going to make you accountable to how you approach healing. And it is totally different than anything you've ever known or heard. It's all natural. The only thing that you are really going to need on this journey is the open heart, a willingness to do something different. You're going to want to journal. There's going to be different journals that you're going to need for different things. We'll talk about that more later. And you're going to really, really just want to be forgiving. A lot of forgiveness of yourself. Everything we're doing right now is really setting the stage for you and you having a new relationship with yourself in a way that you have never allowed yourself to before. Because most of the people that I work with struggle with loving themselves, taking care of themselves emotionally, the self worth and self doubt, lack of self esteem, self confidence, all of those things have been a part of the journey that has really taken them away from who they are and what they deserve in their lives. So I'm here to awaken you to something different, something that is going to literally allow you to be a naturalist, if you will. You're going to become naturally inclined to heal your life. And that is going to be a beautiful thing. I am going to go. I really, really would ask you to please subscribe to this channel, to also like it, only if you like it, and to please tell someone about this channel. I will be back soon to get you started on your journey. See you then. Take care.